Welcome to the show. I'm Ryan Gomez.
And I'm John Caporo. Hi.
Yeah, we're working our way through 5 of the top decks we think are best positioned for Pro Tour Kaladesh.
All right, so we've already kind of covered the aggressive decks of the format, and now we're going to get into the juiciest stuff. Today we've got Zach Voss's Grixis Merge deck from the finals of SCG Indianapolis.
Yeah, now this is an interesting one because so far the decks that we've seen played a really clean game. They drop some creatures, maybe some vehicles, swing in there and try and win, straight up. This kind of plays a dirty game.
Yeah, this deck is kind of cutting costs everywhere. So you're sacrificing creatures to emerge out your big stuff. With those emerge creatures, you cheat out your kind of one creature control element. You've got Kozilek's Return in there. So yeah, you're not playing by the rules. Also, you're using the graveyard as a resource. Now, when I say use the graveyard as a resource, it's like you've got a whole other hand you have access to. And that leads to a lot of, being able to grind someone out because you've got one more resource to draw on than they do.
Sure. So usually one of the downsides with a merge, for example, is the creature that you have to sacrifice is gone. But if you're sacrificing something like Prized Amalgam, you're going to get him back.
Yep. And
you're left with 2 creatures on the board your opponent's going to be struggling to deal with. So overall, how do we like this deck compared to the other 2 that we've seen?
It's cool. It's really hard to play. I mean, it might not be harder to play, but it's definitely different. It's a little more counterintuitive. So the other 2 decks play like very good limited decks. You are just putting creatures in play. You are attacking with them. Some of your other stuff has some text. You've got some vehicles. You've got a couple removal spells. But with this Grixis Emerge deck, it's a little different because you've got kind of these all dirty elements, and you've got this plan of getting up to your Elder Deep Fiends and whatnot. And you've got to get there.
Sure. So taking that plan, is there any way to improve it beyond what this deck already does?
So there are some elements. Allie out here actually has been playing the deck a lot. She loves it. But she noticed that some of the cards were a little weak, like Perpetual Timepiece, a little weak, Crypt Breaker, a little weak. They all kind of play into the theme, but they're not as powerful as they could be. So what she did is she cut those 4 cards. They're both 2-ofs. And she added in 1 Kozilek's Return, and she's got some spicy 1-ofs there, but really she focused on fixing the mana because you're kind of pinched on blue sources. So what happens is you need to fix that blue mana in a hurry.
Right. 3-color decks are kind of not in vogue right now, right?
They're tough.
This is a tricky one. How do you make that mana base work?
It's just more islands. You've got some. You get some Evolving Wilds going in there. A little more blue-black dual lands. You introduce some Spire Bluff Canals.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've just gotta rework it somehow. You've gotta try stuff out, test things, make sure it works.
Okay, great. So let's say you do all that, you get this highly tuned machine, you sit down, F&M, you're ready to play. What's your opponent going to do to beat this monster? How do you come back?
So your biggest enemy at this point is yourself, because a 3-color deck, like you said, kind of hard to swing these days. It's going to be more inconsistent than these 2-color aggressive decks. So you just have to mulligan aggressively, make sure you're able to play all your spells in your hand. I mean, mulliganing is tough. You're going to have to see a lot of games in order to get a feel for how the deck mulligans, but once you've got that under control, you're going to be just fine.
All right, well, this is a really interesting deck, certainly different than the other 2 we've seen. We've got more coming this week. You can read all the details about Grixis Emerge. We've got the deck list linked right below here, so check that out. That'll take you right over to Magic.TCGplayer.com. What else can they find at Magic.TCGplayer?
Well, you can find articles by the pros. So right now our pro columnists, we're gearing up for Pro Tour Kaladesh, and so they're going to be writing new takes on what they're finding all the time. That's going to be interesting to see. We've got a buy list, so what you can do, you can sell your cards to us, or you can just buy cards from us. Either way, it's all good. You should go visit Magic.TCGplayer.com.
Perfect. All right, well, that's going to be it for today. Let us know in the comments what deck you think is going to win the Pro Tour coming up very soon. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's Friday.
It is.
Friday nights.
It's going to be here, so it's going to get hyped. All right, well, that's it for today. Like I said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Internet.